Hello, dear Facebook, dear YouTube, and dear Reddit. Your platforms are recorded involved with FBI and with various natures of courts, judges and prosecutors and their family members, all the people that work for the courts, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated how involved with value streams, racketeering, how involved with mail crimes, wire crimes, lying about what is actually recorded online, and their criminal uses of cases, their locations, inter-branch, individually, criminally, originally and still, intercities, racketeering, and also worse than interstates, leading up to and in the Trade Center attack context. The same ones involved with the inter-campuses connected racketeering acts actually recorded. Their natures actually recorded. See criminal insidiousness nature. Now, nature is identity, and its identity of value progression. Only the extent of it is debatable. We have this criminally legalized, originally still exploited by a breaching method. There are a whole bunch of Wethersfield police forging names and switching names, so written counters can't be affected in relationship to the racketeering uses of the courts, preventing writing and criminally pretending other. They have been pretending falsified police reports, also as human trafficking acts, switching names of arresting officers into databases, pretending to make mistakes and making confessions with this. There are also racketeering uses of other nations like Ukraine and them uses of us per their on and off campuses relationship to as a little isolated community as identity, as human identity. They make as type of the identity to have that self-value when they react to negative value nature progressions, acts and natures that each person grouped and all together are forced to react to originally and still, like slavery. What caused slavery? We have our agencies originally and still they can't defend themselves and understand and have that understood simultaneously. It was this breaching method that is very simple, and it is recorded how bonded onto a whole bunch of other natures or motivations, natures, interests, starting with their sequence racketeering with the child campuses connected intercampuses through time. Agencies like the CIA and like the CIA and the FBI, the media, CNN has recorded, confessed, and demonstrated having been directed also with judges to pretend judges have credibility they know they don't have. Their entire courts, every individual working with them, they also have women role judges and prosecutors involved, and women doctors and medical racketeering, foreign and domestic, on and off the campuses, on and off connected ties to that between shared strip mall policing, shared policing of locations at the end of highways, internation companies, shared roles with and uses of the overt criminal enterprises themselves kept needing to hide the same sequence shifts, finite lies, active lies, progressive lies, identity thefts, frauds, and racketeering acts, roles with the various natures, of course, uses of each identity of the ground, location, area, and state, and therefore people from that. We're, let alone. So in a perfect world, no, in other words, what they're doing, for example, it's against the law to say that someone has to sue someone who's standing outside of a. This is worse than what they do. The analogy I'm going to give, the metaphor I'm going to give you here. Say you know someone who's standing outside on a hill. He's a good shooter, so he's consciously maintaining not going to shoot anybody. He's not knocking bullets off the side of a building, which is dangerous. You don't know, he could hit someone. Or he and she, put them both there together because this is he and she. They're using of male and female too, each age of it. Now, it's against the law to tell someone who could get hit by those bullets that they have to sue them before they get them to stop shooting the bullets. New Britain Superior Court has recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with forging names and switching names. Uses of crime methods, attaching me to fake conversations with my family about what I speak to them about. All exceptions recorded criminally exploited by them, with crimes with proven child sex offenders, with connections between them that everyone missed, like a principal sex offender. also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with Newtown, with Sandy Hook, which has a prison in that town, which is also involved with fire departments, with foreign and domestic families, and with each of the departments at Central Connecticut State University through time involved with a whole bunch of names, were involved with racketeering acts, everyone speaking through others, and that having been used criminally right through administrations forced to self-value roles with this. Now, I also have my uncle recorded, confessed, and demonstrating with my aunt and with my family members involved, influence to their roles with racketeering with Newington locations near across the street from a Lowe's. And with Middletown locations recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with and as their roles with people like people associated with religious spots and houses next to them, like a Kerr family, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated also with other people all along the route that goes by the state of Connecticut judicial branch offices. The roles with that, with the New Britain Superior Court, their uses of their Facebook page, and the uses of the Facebook pages of the child campuses like Weathersfield High School, Weathersfield High Crest School is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with various natures of racketeering uses of each age of campus with the proven sex offenders campus. Then and now, there were more police, like two Mendez police, people associated with this Kerr family, like with an officer, Jerry Miller. Further then and now, further online involved with them with racketeering uses of their Facebook pages and of the stewards of their Facebook pages and the stewards of the campuses with wire crimes. They also recorded the High Crest School, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated they lied to my parents, to my family members since I was a kid, attaching me to fake words, fake locations. They've been attaching little kids. There wasn't just sexual abuses of them, but this is also women roles with this, women prosecutors and their kids involved with spreading lies about kids, pretending that's just how they want to honestly teach their kids. But they're lying about that because they're using their kids to hide their racketeering lies. I don't even know their names, but there's a Christine Bedard and a Christine Tardet, and there's another Christine involved with a whole bunch of people associated with the house/SMI area, further involved with them with forensics locations, with body dumping spot of Billy Grasso, and with the body dumping spot of a serial killer. They also have recorded racketeering acts roles with that very serial killer, with the very courts and prisons and campuses that put him away, campuses involved with training of police intercities. Now they have locations in Rocky Hill all along the Swiss Austin Highway that is straight through that all the way to Hartford, Connecticut. We've recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. A whole bunch of people like DeMorro's Market, a whole bunch of people involved, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with them with racketeering on Franklin Avenue, Weathersfield Avenue, and the Borough Turnpike, where these roads run into Hartford. At the end of the Borough Turnpike, there are people that I don't even know the names of that have been pretending others through time with a Fred Grisette, also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering with the Weathersfield police chiefs, immediate and extended foreign and domestic family, with them also with other foreign and domestic overt criminal enterprises and private ones, and people with private schools also involved with the racketeering on all sides of the public schools in Weathersfield and uses of that. Now these like so they have the private school kids and the regular ones involved with the racketeering with the CIA and their family members and FBI and their family members, and with the co-defendants of former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, former standing chairperson on Racketeering Influence and Corrupt Organization Act, RICO law. So now the Mr. Schiff is involved with racketeering with former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, and with this Mueller and Comey guy recorded. They're involved also with the principal sex offender, many involved with that with forensics labs, and with a Phil Cololo, and with the Scalora family involved with a house in my area, also with police, with crimes, with guns, and with drugs, and with untimely deaths, and sexual and other natures of abuses of the youngest kids that is connected to and as the roles with other campuses in town of each age and of intercities like UConn, Central Connecticut State University, and Trinity College recorded, confessed, and demonstrated use from off those campuses for their roles with racketeering acts on the campuses that also therefore are uses of their identities, because now they have to make opinions needing to speak about nothing real, needing to prevent mandated law about the sequence shifts that reveal this, that reveal that, and how they were using their databases for racketeering, how they're using the sense and sensibilities of everyone in relationship to this. So a whole bunch of people associated with these are various natures of courts at once involved racketeering since before the Obama administration. Then right through the Obama administration, they forced him to self-value roles with worse than slavery, worse than racketeering, worse than torture. They're forcing President Trump to force self-value roles, for entertain shifts roles with reported worse than war crimes, breaching racketeering methods, sequence shifts with Mueller and Comey, uses of them to hide their racketeering before that with former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, their roles and uses of all identity ground locations like New Haven FBI, reported, confessed, and demonstrated involved with them. Also with a whole bunch of people tied to judges associated with the Della Fair family and with the Spada family and with a Chris White and his family with police forms involved with identity thefts, racketeering with falsified police sports roles, identity thefts, frauds, and racketeering. Had kept sequence shifts also. These are a whole bunch of people with a Jim Socha and a Jen Socha and a Jill Socha, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering. Also, Washington, D.C., on and off Trinity College, on and off CCSU tried, on and off Willard Hall. Also with a CJ, I don't know what his name. He's also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with Fred Grisey and with others, with the DeMauro family involved with racketeering on and off Central Connecticut State University and the principal sex offenders campus. As one of the houses next to it, also further involved with the Collusion family, with the school resource officers. Now, see, they have the F.C.C. also involved with this racketeering with the judges, where their racketeering methods are completely fact treatment nature oriented. There's sequence shifts. They're attaching me and other people to fake conversations, fake words, speaking through others criminally, attaching us to fake words, fake behavior in relationship to them. And to their confessions, also used for time racketeering, where they are preventing mandated law, forcing abuses of each age, of fact treatment nature, pretending they have integrity when they don't. Their uses of pretending to be against the extortion of Ukraine is recorded, standardized, and enforced. The alternatives are forced in collusion with self-value. What really leads up to wars originally and still. We have states, we have all locations, areas, states. We have each of the sciences recorded criminally foreign influence. There are people associated with a Kevin Harris and recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with men and women associated with the Gallucci family, also on and off Central Connecticut State University, also on and off Trinity College, crimes with judges with them, and with an Iowa family, with a DeMauro family, with state police, like associated with, I don't even know all their names, and their family members, reported, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering in my area, also with forensics locations through time. Also as people involved with racketeering with the body dumping spot of Billy Grasso and of the witness protection program stewards, racketeering roles and uses of that with the role, obviously the area, the same houses involved with them, with the racketeering with the principal sex offender, same houses involved further with proven and further reported involved racketeering associated with sequence shift from inside the Ninth Circuit Court that appeared late, what had been brought into the Ninth Circuit and time stamped on time. That proven right before the Trade Center attack. They showed the panel of judges documents that had been post-dated from inside the court to appear late. Those are people further involved with sequence racketeering on off New Britain Superior Court, on off Hartford courts, on off Middletown courts. Their roles with racketeering uses of Facebook pages with racketeering with child sex offenders, families already on the list. And they use that to force that against to force that not told on a principal sex offender, the way they have the people who answer the phones at the campuses were coached to prevent people from reporting simple racketeering acts and rape threats. New Britain Superior Court's Facebook pages are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated, for example, with involved with rape threats in the court and outside of the court, confessions to me and others since I was a kid, and their roles with the principal sex offenders campus before that got caught off campus anyway. These are also people further on off Dr. Zero, nice guy. Years ago, I haven't seen him. He was my dentist years ago. On and off that dentist location, there are people associated with the Walters family, three brothers he has, and a sister. His mother and his extended family member, his wife and kids, are involved with also with the child programs used to keep people pretending compassion's emotions. It's nothing against his father. Nothing, you know. This is what his father was a victim predator influenced to this by also judges and their police forms and agencies and overt criminal enterprises associated with Old Town Cafe in Old Weathersfield and other locations around it, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with the Charlie Bowes. I also never had a conversation with. He's also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering uses of locations with other nations, like a Russian lady and a Club Blue. He's also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated by people tied to them. He's involved with racketeering acts on off Trinity College, on off CCSU. These are people involved with federal criminals that are co-defendants of Robert Luskin, former director of the FBI, involved with the sequence shifts with Shift and his racketeering with child sex offenders. That also as the ones with the forensics labs, also as the ones not by accident, with all these connections to the World Trade Center attack context criminally. Further then and now, then as the ones further with the investigators of it, also involved with the racketeering coverage office of it, also intermilitary, also Coast Guard, also EMS, also fire departments, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated roles with the racketeering and the identity thefts, fraud, sequence shifts. People I went to school with, involved with my town's police chief's daughter and extended family, like a Reno Mazzucato, his brother and sister, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. I barely know of them, only know them in context where they're recorded, confessed, and demonstrated, involved with database racketeering, with the shared policing of the stores having been exploited by them. Also intercities. They also have people associated with a sound view, and they have like NFL teams. There's a Dave and Doug Wydell and their family is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated further involved with a Colello family, further involved with forensics locations and with FBI and with CIA and with state police and with Weathersfield police, further involved with the area criminally and with mail crime, wire crime methods, where wire crimes, for example, crime methods. If you call the school to report that which is actually recorded, they direct someone to speak with someone you know and pretend you had a conversation about what you tried to report, and then they stack falsified police report rules with it. With everyone attached to fake words, fake locations, fake relationships to others, fake sequences. WFSB recorded, confessed, and demonstrated attached me and other people associated with interstates roles with the World Trade Center attack context. They attached me and others to fake words, fake locations, fake relationship to other falsified police reports roles. They use interbranch forging names and switching names and misspelling names. They use interbranch Facebook pages for racketeering with child sex offenders, as people also involved with racketeering with the stewards of the witness protection program, and people further involved criminally, directly and indirectly, with a whole bunch of people associated with Billy Grasso in the body dumping spot of Billy Grasso, and people that fought with him, like fake sides associated with a whole bunch of people associated with John Scully. I also barely know, and who's also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with courts and with prosecutors and with people associated with the San Juan Center, associated with foreign domestic racketeering with Central Connecticut State University, that is tied to their roles through time with child campuses. Sammy Vega is involved with human trafficking with Justice Department racketeering, medical racketeering with kids. Now he's also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with lawyers involved with this, I don't know his name, there's a guy with like the Latino radio, also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with like a Nito. He tried to like come onto him sexually, real or made up. A guy who was his boxer. That's also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with like security guards and stuff like that. They have the security guards of the people of Fox Connecticut News, their news building, and the regular police that are retired and standing agencies rolls with that building and with the buildings next to it with racketeering uses of all parts of Hartford, Connecticut, sickly distinctly, not by accident, but also as one's roles with the people from my town, inter-branch, on off the state judicial branch offices, all along that route that goes by them, involved with identity thefts, frauds, racketeering, same sequence shifts, finite lies, active lies, progressive lies. They're locked, painted into corners since before the World Trade Center attack, then as roles with that as fake sides, already having been used remote here and there. They attached Saudi Arabian families to fake words and to the roles with their falsified police reports and with the investigators of that, the vetting of that too. All those programs, they're all raised criminally for an influence. Also, we have the stewards of the Cub Scouts and the Girl Scouts. We have recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with this racketeering, also with mayors and with a police chief years ago. His girlfriend recorded, confessed, and demonstrated further involved with other police departments in my town's police chief and a Dillon family and other retired and standing police associated with them with the same house slash SMA area and on my street further involved with Central Connecticut State University racketeering acts and people involved with identity thefts, attaching me to fake locations through time, like with this Charlie Bowes family, also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with like, well, I guess he had a sister in my grade. I don't know if that's true or that's someone said, or bartender at the Old Town Cafe. I never been there growing up. I only time I went there, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated they're tied to Washington D.C. racketeering. They were already involved with courts, involved with this Chris Walters. His wedding was also used for evidence racketeering, where they could pretend to perceive things and where they had sequence shifts they needed to hide from the past because he was not my friend. I went to that wedding because I knew this was going to be involved. I knew to be able to defend my kids someday, God willing, if I could have them, if I get them, you better follow mandated law real fast now at Federal Communications Commission, Federal Trade Commission. YouTube. We have former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin. We have this guy Adam Schiff recorded involved with him, with Mueller and Comey, also with other people with Congress, with foreign and domestic, like Russians, also associated with fire departments, regardless if they're patriots now or what. They're follow mandated law. We have a Peruta family recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved by Wethersfield Police and demonstrated true by themselves involved with preventing mandated law and their roles with database racketeering, their roles with fire departments involved with houses in my area, as the ones further involved with the witness protection program, with the body dumping spot of Billy Grasso, with a whole bunch of people on off the state of Connecticut judicial branch offices with this Fianza family, also recorded and confessed and demonstrated involved with racketeering there, and on Two Rod Highway where Hangdog Lane runs into Two Rod Highway, and that goes into the Berlin Turnpike. That's around that corner from where Elena Davenport and other people, Chet Casper, a whole bunch of people through time recorded, confessed, and demonstrated Chet Casper, and there's a Tom Potter, and there's a Mr. Potter. He used to work at the middle school. There are further men and women, foreign and domestic, medical racketeering, also a pattern of it. On and off the middle school, further recorded, confessed, and demonstrated roles with the principal sex offender and with tied untimely deaths, lying about how that was confessed to me and brought up to me before that got caught. Anyway, off campuses, they hid what was is actually recorded then and now on campuses because we have people associated with um, Brian Silver and with a Christine Bedard, a whole bunch of people tied to them, recorded, confessed, demonstrated involved with racketeering with male and female judges and with male and female prosecutors, involved with crimes with child sex offenders, racketeering with evidence, falsified police reports, human trafficking, also with WFSB, Fox Connecticut News, WTNH, also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering on off WTNH's location and how they played softball together for 3 years for each other. They've been using that racketeering act since before the Trade Center attack, preventing me from and others from telling on things while they're stacking confessions from strangers and uses of that. Now they have actually recorded uses of that. They're actually recorded criminal seditious natures that was not legally legalized. We have criminal readings of the statute self-valued by our stewards, originally and still maintained, how that is maintained, recorded also. So we have to have mandated law followed. We have the F.C.C. with them pretending passions and emotions, pretending integrity as the identities of the law as criminal insidiousness natures, already having had that exploited. We have no integrity inter-branch with our identities of the ground locations and all their individuals individually grouped together, all different. We have women involved originally and still with child abuses, with the male sexual and medical racketeering with the child sex offenders, their patients and criminals involved with them with crimes before they got caught. Because we have to counter how the judicial branch and how the executive branch, there are distinctly and non-distinctly crime methods, especially the judicial branch, distinct crime methods preventing mandated law from being followed. So they keep shooting, keep shooting. They tell us to sue, but they're forging names and switching names. I have the rights to the attorney general now. Also, New Haven FBI, again, other ways involved on off their location, the same way database racketeering roles, uses of their identity, pretending other, the same way they have WTNH, WFSB, Fox Connecticut News, using their identity, pretending they don't understand me. Follow mandated law. Detach me from the fake words and locations you attach me and other to WFSB and your roles with WTNH and with Fox Connecticut News. WTNH is also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering with the Delaferro family, also with judges and also with doctors on off the Weatherfield High School through time with child sex offenders and as the victims of that recorded, confessed, and demonstrated how they were transferred into roles with the abuses of the other people's kids, each age of them and each difference, male, boys, girls. So we have experts that in a perfect world you'd be able to rely on experts, but here you can't do that because they're sequence racketeering. They're involved. That's why we have to counter the judges. We have to have the mandated law. I'm reporting them here. I'm reporting the prosecutors here. Don't pretend you don't understand. So Federal Communications Commission respond for Connecticut inter-branch, also involved with this racketeering, with the racketeering uses of central of CCS of CNN, with the people involved with the inter-campuses racketeering acts that is also simultaneously involved with and as inter-branch racketeering acts, simultaneously with and as their racketeering uses of depositions and of problems. They keep going so they can keep fake sides of fact treatment nature. A whole bunch of people from Trinity College I don't know the name of, from my names of, that pretend they know the names of me. I barely know ones I barely know of. I don't know the names of they know my pretended other on Trinity College, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with as the roles with the ones with CCSU. Like an ILO family, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated, also involved with racketeering with locations on and off CCSU and on and off Trinity College, not legitimately undercover, as they're involved with wire crimes and mail crimes with them too, Facebook crimes, crimes with guns, crimes with evidences related to that. Joella was influenced to pretend passions, emotions, and relationships to his roles with people associated also with gun crimes with Adam Lanza, with Newtown Sandy Hook, and with an O'Brien family, with other families associated with a Phil Cololo and a Scalora family, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with identity thefts, frauds, and racketeering and sequence shifts and other natures of database racketeering against me and my people in my family. They also have fake Facebook page, fake YouTube pages through time forced. That simultaneously, YouTube won't fix that for you. If in other words, they're just going to be reliant upon the police forms. The police forms are coaching the identities of the online platforms further and further, needed to hide roles with them, with the racketeering. So we have the Facebook pages of New Britain Superior Court and of the schools, intercities of each age of campuses recorded involved with whole racketeering methods with them. We have people involved even on the outsides of the park where the media play softball together. Mark Carone, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved by I don't barely know of them. Only context I know them in. Also, they're involved with state police and Weathersfield Police and Department of Transportation, Department of Motor Vehicle, with a whole bunch of people associated with racketeering, with Eric Jensen, and with people with Eric Oliveri, with the houses in my area further involved with wire crimes, mail crimes, uses of the identity ground locations like UPS, like FedEx, like mobile gas stations on the South State Highway, also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with the people with the on off tomorrow's market, involved intercities, racketeering with human trafficking, racketeering interstates, worse than interstates, but also intercities. They cover live progressions tied to this. This is how they are used remote. And the standing live progression cover up nature's needs styles. Larry Martinez. Preach, Anthony. Thank you, Larry Martinez. No one free speech. Our founders left us to have free speech because our founders didn't have free speech. They have where the surface values of the Constitution are originally instilled, never permitted simultaneous defense, never permitted defense. Other was forced pretended. Since before our founders were born, this method was already entrenched here. Intersciences, homeschool, all the difference. It's the identity the sciences share, they're playing. Our human identity, our human nature of volume, individually grouped together. I caught them cold as day. Former director of the FBI down, Robert Luskin, Thaddeus Grabowski, involved with them with two Mendez police, with two Domain police, involved with crimes with police equipment on and off Fox Connecticut News, the buildings next to them, their roles with racketeering with former director of the FBI, with his co-defendants, whether they realize it or not. They understand they're liars. They understand they're fakes. They understand they've been lying to girls I never had conversation with behind my back, who then had to pretend they knew me and had conversation with me acting like that per the people involved. Like a John Mayano, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with Mulcahy girls I never had anything to do with, and with a Rick Faglione, and with people with a Brian Silver and with a Brendan Leahy, involved with my new and past neighbors, with them with untimely deaths and with racketeering acts, fake conversations with me that never were. Also with these two Mendez police doing that. So they are stacking lies, and then what they do if you try to call up the school. That's how they force the principal sex offender. They're coaching the people who answer the phones because they also have, and then they pretend they don't understand you. Like I'm like in other words, now no one's understanding me out here because no one's letting. I only asked to report specific crime acts. Now I'm trying to counter. We need to counter the rest of the New Britain Superior Court with rape threats when they were used to force the principal sex offender. They also used those passion crimes because those people were already recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with foreign and domestic military racketeering on and off CCSU, on and off Hartford courts, on and off New Britain Superior Court, on and off Middletown courts before the Trade Center, then leading up into the Trade Center in that attack context, and since as the ones interstates from Connecticut, intercampuses first, since they were kids, involved as victim predator roles with database involved racketeering, wire crimes, mail crimes. These are racketeering acts that are verbal, tied to them, and their identity theft frauds, like a Joshua Julian, also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated by people in my area, and confirmed by himself online, involved with them with houses in my area, with racketeering, with overt criminal enterprises, the same ones involved with racketeering acts, with falsified police reports through time and further. Right now, they can't have a case go before them that they have integrity to handle. Now they have this Brian Silver, and they have this Christine Bedard Tardet, involved with too many people that pretended conversations with me that never were, attached me and other people that were we were in the Ninth Circuit right next to the World Trade Center towers right before it was attacked. These people are involved with racketeering tied to that, as the people from Connecticut interstates, also involved with racketeering uses of Washington, D.C., involved with the same ones, further with New Britain Superior Court racketeering through time, with uses of Trinity College by judges and their family members, further involved. People that worked for their courts, further involved with the identities of the sciences, like a Dr. Shub of modern languages. That modern languages people are recorded how having been used remote for our sides, fake side roles with the attack on the World Trade Center. They have maintenance styles of liars, styles of lie, progression, cover-up natures, as the identities of the sciences, as the identities of all private inclusion with that, as the identities of each individual grouped in together, maintain victim predators, everyone blaming the real causes of it, where everyone has to react to it now as fact-checking nature, blaming the real cause of other things others themselves, not by accident. That's self-value, defended, that fact-checking nature reactions. That's invested as an engineering of fact-cheating nature styles originally and still since before our founders were born. While our founders had their lives, they didn't have free speech. They had they could only stick up the surface values of the Constitution for us to free. So we have Marbury versus Madison means real justice must satisfy all appearances of real justice. It doesn't mean to fake it originally and still, but Adam Schiff's self-values having been a fake. Mr. Schiff, please convert. Please respond to mandated law. Give up Mueller and Comey. Recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with you with racketeering with a whole bunch of people tied to former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin. Further involved with World Trade Center racketeering acts, also with the investigators of it, also with uses of the VA, also with uses of how they have that connected to, there's no time for the VA, so you're going to use a regular doctor. They have also mental health care racketeering. We have physical delusions, criminally foreign influence, racketeering natures of identities of law, intermilitary, criminally foreign influence. Roles with the Soto family, also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with an O'Brien family, and with this Kerr family, and with the DeMoro family, and with a whole bunch of people on off sea at Central Connecticut State University, intercampuses, intersciences with them. Also girls that they recorded, confessed, and demonstrated abuse, like a Heather Hansen, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with the abuse of others kids, with child sex offenders, also because their families' roles with medical racketeering with UConn, and with these on off these campuses locations, on off the media locations like downtown Hartford, all the clubs downtown Hartford associated with this. So Russia, there's a Peruta family I don't know. I barely know of them. And there's a Russian lady I don't know at all who's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering with a Leahy family, who's also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering with various natures of courts, drug cliques, and sexual circles, and evidence racketeering cliques, and wire crime roles, and mail crime roles, and falsified police report roles, identity thefts, frauds, and racketeering roles. So F.C.C is involved also with the sensibilities of online platforms where they prevent you from speaking about any of those racketeering acts, which are each bonded subjects, which are each bonded sequence relationships. So they won't let any of the sequence relationships responded to. The courts use forging names and switching names so they can keep shooting like the gunner on the side of the shore. Like worse than that, because these are people involved also with a serial killer and with a whole other people with him also involved with them with racketeering before he got caught and since with that location. Also as the military police, foreign and domestic, like a Kolvinska's family, like an MPO Floyd, involved with them with mail crimes, wire crimes, falsified police reports, identity thefts, identity fraud, racketeering, physical delusions, mental health care racketeering, racketeering with the Eastern States Narcotic Drug Task Force, the roels with untimely deaths, crimes with private drugs and with regular drugs clicks, with the policings of the stores, state police, like two Carone brothers, a whole bunch of male and female state police, and people associated with them and their family members associated with also with the Morrow family, with Central Connecticut State University, through time with also with this O'Brien family with a Pruzzi, Mr. Pruzzi. I also never had a personal conversation with him, and with this Potter. There's a Thomas Potter further involved, further confessed, recorded, and demonstrated involved with racketeering uses of YouTube by the inter-branch drug cliques and sexual circles. Now, there's how they are sexual circles is also how the DMV and DLT is involved with that, and with swingers and things like that. Wheeler made up per them. Everyone's speaking through other people too, as people involved with Ian and other FBI and people associated with agencies near their houses. I don't know what his last. There's a person who says that his name is Ian St. John. I don't know. I thought that was one of the houses that is a bunch of brothers next to them that I never had a conversation with either, which is right next to the Dave and Doug Boyadell, which is right across from the house associated with the O'Brien family, with the police forms retired and standing, and lobbyists involved further with the principal sex offenders campus, and with religious spots involved with this, and sick people through time. Respond for them. Respond for them. Because the courts have been using criminally CCSU and Trinity College and UConn. But before they was also with them with overt criminal enterprise, a whole bunch of other nations. They were used as identities, fake sides with Saudis. They also used with they made the investigators of the 9/11 was racketeering roles with the Saudis. Their maintenance to racketeering styles of liars, pretending they're other in relationship to truth. Positives, actual value/value nature system courts, which is identities. I'll drop the force boxings. So there's might, power, and force are parts apart, but are parts yet bonded too. Yes. Fried chicken balls. This guy is spitting straight facts. Thank you. So what we need to do is they're pretending that you have to sue people to get them to stop from shooting you. For example, they're doing worse than this. They're involved with untimely deaths, the judges and the prosecutors. They are recorded how women interbranch judges and prosecutors and victims advocates were our roles with the worst natures of child offenders and human trafficking and with WFSB and with them with Fox other Connecticut News recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. Also, there's a Trantolo and Trantolo also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated they're coached to pretend lies and delusions and prevent mandated law in relationship to the simple requests for them to have WFSB's fake words and fake locations they attached me and others to taken down and admitted, and their sequence shifts. Now WFSB is further recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with agencies and with doctors and other private and other intercampuses people further then and now with the principal sex offenders campus further involved, like O'Neill family, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. Also, other retired and standing politicians like a Gold family, further recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with the ones further with forensics locations, involved with racketeering with their overt criminal enterprises. Body dumping spot of Billy Grasso. Body dumping spot of the serial killer. Their racketeering acts, roles, and uses of them for roles with them. That serial killer and Billy Grasso and people associated with them, with John Scully and with like some guy associated with him that was in a fight with Billy Grasso, where they act fake sides of fact sheet nature so people can pretend to court things because they're involved with racketeering on and off job sites. Also recorded intercampuses, Weathersfield police involved with them with racketeering with local 230. Also with child sex offenders, human trafficking. Also racketeering uses of people associated with one of the Saudis that is involved with fire departments with the unions that is involved with union. Her family member associated with people with Weathersfield fire departments are further involved with wire crimes and with mail crimes and further uses of the Weathersfield town offices and other election spots. Now let's get a response. See Renaissance. So CNN, don't pretend it's personal that you guys pretend to deal with. That's what's recorded. You guys are involved with racketeering acts against me, against little kids, forcing everyone consciously, criminally to speak through other people. They don't even know what they're talking about. What are they going to say? Then you guys criminally use what they respond. Their response is to pretend you perceive things. You guys are sickly. You're caught here. And with Schumer pretending passions and emotions about what Mueller said. Mueller is involved with him with racketeering since before that, since before the World Trade Center attack. They're involved with racketeering with former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, and with his co-defendants. And they're racketeering with their family members like Thaddeus Grabowski, also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved criminally with former director of the FBI and with crime cases before courts that they used criminally. Then and now, with Allison Mulcahy, her neighbors. I don't know Allison Mulcahy, her sister, her mother, and stuff like that. Her neighbors. They're recorded, confessed, also demonstrating involved with them as people right near and on. They're not on. I don't know where they live now. I don't know where the house report is on Hangdog Lane, right where it runs into to the Two Rod Highway. Now this is people associated with the area where George Washington had to come to Weathersfield, Connecticut, right here, right before the last battle of the Revolutionary War, to secure means to win the last battle of the Revolutionary War. He had to use the French general, who he could only use to send me counter-extort that he had to leave with overt slavery entrenched in the north, and right here in Weathersfield, Connecticut, right between New York and Boston, though. Now we have the congressional building overall. We have Connecticut's congressional building, also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering with other nations like Ukraine and like Russia, involved with fire departments and involved with UPS and involved with Fox, with FedEx, with racketeering acts on and off Trinity College and on and off CCSU, roles with a whole bunch of people associated with a Joshua Stryker. I never had a conversation with my life. It wasn't in my grade. He's involved with this Oliveri family, other people with UPS. FedEx involved also with racketeering at the end of Town Line Drive. Now, all along Town Line Drive is also with a Ray Hernandez with the foreign and domestic, like Puerto Rico racketeering, with criminal justice, with medical racketeering, with wire crimes with them. Also involved with the radio stations and the roles with the kids, like Mega Education, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with agencies, foreign and domestic, with crimes with our kids. Also medical. Also overt criminal enterprises and collusion. Also foreign and domestic military racketeering. So let's get them onto paper and get a response. See Renaissance. Federal Trade Commission, Federal Communications Commission. Let's go. You guys are involved with the uses of Facebook pages, of YouTube pages, pretending to be me. Also, as you're racketeering with the people, inter-branch, lying about what is actually recorded, and uses of their Facebook pages, inter-branch, then and now, with more rape threats and racketeering roles and uses of the principal sex offenders campus, then and now. Since before that got caught off campus anyway, they were recorded using crime methods to force that not told on with that which is actually recorded. So we have Schiff saying things in the records after sequences with the other branches too. The branches individually grouped together, they distinctly, non-distinctly, and simultaneously have crime methods manifest. They have that self-value. They have the uses of them remote, all locations, areas, and states, all sciences, all database relationships, private, other, in collusion also with the overt criminal enterprises and with everyone with that by what is way worse and keeping everyone rolls with what is way worse, like the World Trade Center attack. So the CNN and the other news outlets are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated being coached further and further to elections racketeering and to pretending to be against it simultaneously because how they have each position of the human fact-shaping nature sickly, distinctly prevented free speech and forced to pretend other, like the president's slash chief. Chief is where they are valued. What I speak of is native pure, sequence true. For example, us as value, humanity, no matter even if you're Native American or not. So let's get the judges from the names forging and switching and pretending they have to be sued to be counted from their racketeering uses of locations, of mail crime methods, wire crime methods, the uses. In other words, we're going to sue them, but we're going to do it with the attorney general now. Attorney General Barr, please give me the name of who disbelieves this interbranch. I'll delineate the delusions from their criminally foreign influence. Actually, recorded nature's right there. Let's go. Let's hurry up. Facebook, you know this is recorded. You have obligations to give up the Britain Superior Court's Facebook page with accounts with the name KNERR. Also recorded with a Jerry Miller, Officer Jerry Miller, further involved with the KERR family, further recorded, confessed, and demonstrated also with two Mendez police and others interbranch on off in the Britain Superior Court with police and with judges and prosecutors, further crimes with kids, also with medical families, medical racketeering, fake conversations with me, forging names, switching names, falsified police reports rolls, wire crime rolls, mail crime rolls, Washington, D.C. ties to World Trade Center, ties to intercampuses manifest rolls, uses of that rolls, way worse. Let's all rehearse. Boxing. Follow mandated law. Follow mandated law. Follow mandated law. Follow mandated law. Fake branches fall. CT is cherry tree, not oak nor peach. This was not chopped down. These fake branches fall. Now build the wall. Respond for the rest of the people associated with Church Street. Recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with the with what's his name? A Bruce Hanson, a Heather Hanson, three brothers of hers, a bunch of people with the name Demoro were involved with racketeering. People were from Thailand. People recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with them with uses of Dan Keene and with a Mike Kerr and people associated with the Oliveri family and with a Joshua Stryker with corners on Griswold Street, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering with fire departments, campuses, and Wethersfield police chief's family, and a whole bunch of retired and standing associated with them with FBI racketeering. The CIA, their family members, with sick punk fakes. You see what sick souls work for the CIA, you'll see. Now they're just been, oh, but that's our identity. They have opinion sick. They're not incapable of having an election now. They've been lying to the American public right through administrations. No wonder um, Obama had to get mad at the media. They showed him kicking the door. Real and or made up. I'm not using other people's information. That's what they do. Follow mandated law. Fall the wall. Boxing.